before we move on to the second date? No? Okay.
Question?
If there are any questions, then we're going to go ahead and move on to the second date.
I have a question.
Sylvia, yes.
So can you explain a little bit about the story at the beginning you can do it in Hong not in English?
Story at the beginning. That was the story of the very first wedding between the Hmong couple. As far as details, can't really go much into it, to be honest. Yeah, that was the very explanation of the very first wedding. Ruth?
As far as like the process, our mom would like the United States still exactly going in the same sequence as this presentation was like how different.
Like Steven said towards the beginning of the video, a lot of the families are it's kind of different throughout the states. Some families do it a different way from another family. So I guess it really depends on where you're located and who your family is. Nicole?
What if what if both of the people that are getting married, like what if one of them was like, your traditional like one type of like person where like your family wanted to do it, and then somebody wasn't like what if they were other than
As far as like the bride being Hmong and the groom being, say, Caucasian, like that.
doesn't kind of like would he have to do it too?
It
Like
would,
if her family wanted it?
it would be dependent upon whether or not the groom wanted to do it. I guess it's more so an aspect of respect to the family doing it. So, I guess to answer your question, it's yes and no. Any other questions?
Yeah, Kathy?
So what if like the room is out of state, does we have to attend by itself? So the wedding was in Minnesota and the room was from Massachusetts, would just if you fly over then with the bride or how would the actual?
Well, I would think that it's like, you're going to, it's representative will come with them. So it wouldn't be just himself. Usually it's like how Steve described it, would be if he have family in Minnesota or something, he would become a family member representative or, Massachusetts. So, yeah.
But regardless, they would have to meet up first and then go there.
In order to have a wedding, you always need your representative. So, we would always need.
Why did negotiation take place at the bride's house?
Well, like I said in the video, how it's in respect of the parents. Like the money, the dowry that goes into it, to show respect for the parents and the years that they have raised their daughters. And it's kind of like you're giving your daughter away to someone. So it's her last time in the house, basically. So that's why negotiation takes place.
Yeah, they're kind of just going on their terms, so they're gonna, I guess, in a sense, go over terms and then talk about or negotiate.
Yes, Sylvia?
Why is there a bride price?
Well, like I said, it's like for, to pay the parents back for all the years that they have raised her.
Yeah, it's really just paying the parents back for how they raised their daughter, and it necessarily doesn't go to the parent and stay with the parents. Most of that money actually comes back to the bride.
Why is it that they have different like prices in different states?
Again, that's dependent on the negotiations with the it's just like negotiating, really for anything, like if they see a flaw in the wife, or they see a flaw in the agreement that they say, that they consider, you know, this is wrong with that order, that's why it should be lowered, or, should be hired because he's got this good amount of education, she's got that good of an education, so there's a lot of variables to it.
Yeah, that was not connected to my question. I was kind of wondering for the whole negotiation process, like, what are some of the common problems that can ruin the negotiations, and how does that affect like the marketplace?
Common things that can go wrong, well, I listed a few already. I guess really, there's so many variables because there could be, you know, to not want to pay as much, they can just dig as far as they want to dig, see what they can find wrong or good about their bride or their groom.
And like kind of how it's stated in the PowerPoint, kind of like when they're negotiating, when they go through, like kind of review the history of the parents in the past in order to come down to like a reasonable price for the dowry.
I guess I was just kind of worried because I told my brother he had to pay $12,000, so I was just pretty much like, just because like he was a high school dropout and she had her master's in accounting, so you know that huge education, yeah, the huge education had to be a big factor.
Basically means that she's gonna bring more profit into the family more than him, and she's doing more hard working than him. That's why the dowry was a little bit higher. If he was a little bit educated, and the dowry was a little bit lower because of the education. Because nowadays education do play a big impact in marriage system. Because if one woman's higher than the other one, then that means that the other one's gonna make more profit, and that means they gonna support him for more. So that's why.
So would it ever happen that you couldn't get the negotiation worked out and you'd have to cancel the wedding? Or
Basically, if it never work out, then you keep negotiating until it come down to one agreement from both sides. If they agree, then it doesn't matter how long it takes. If you have to take 2 days just to get it down, then it still keep going until they do it.
And to kind of respond to that, that has happened. I've seen it happen a couple of times when like they can negotiate and stuff like, it's families for like a couple of months to get married, they just can't.
But then I think initially it always comes down to what happens of the two kids that so eventually they will come to the causes of something that,
Well, and I'll add to that too, this is America, so even though like you want to do it the traditional way, if your parents really say no, absolutely no, then you know it's just what American route and get married.
Last question. So, what if the daughter was divorced and she got remarried? How would the partiality be for that?
Don't quote me on that, but I believe it's significantly lower than a newlywed. Why? Well, basically because, I mean, the first marriage obviously didn't work out, and it's kind of bad. It's the way like divorcees are seen in the community is really bad. Let's say if you had, like, here's an example of myself. My parents are divorced. The way other parents will look at my parents or even myself, they'll say, these parents are divorced, so that's not a good family. You don't want to have anything to do with them. So that's just all bad luck. So that significantly lowers the price of the bride. So it's bad, but that's just the way a lot of the elders see it, even though it's not. So.
How's the difference, like, how's the process different? Like, say, for example, a guy who has like 10 wives or whatever wants to get married to like about
from what Steven say, basically you go almost the same process, except a different style because you marry already, so basically it's like you remarry another woman. So basically you go a different process and just like newlywed. This is basically just about two new couples just getting married and they haven't gone through the process and they don't know what's going on compared to the remarried guy. He already know what the process is, so they gonna make the process a little bit different so that make sure that he won't remarry again after getting remarried.
Any more questions?
Take a short break now. Come back for the second session of the wedding day. 2 minutes break.
After the